Hello everybody, happy Wednesday. I hope you all had a good day. If you're here, let me know in the comments. Just say hi. Yeah, just say hi. Let me know you're here. Man, yeah. The week is almost over. I'm gonna get started with opening this wine because, yeah, that's the main attraction of the show. I hope you guys had a good day. Hope your week is going well. This one actually requires my corkscrew. So I'm cutting the foil. Oh, I'm not even in the right spot. Listen to me rambling. If you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share, check out my other content. All of my other socials are linked as well. This is some interesting foil that is on this wine. Very interesting. So I'm gonna have to go about it another way. Oh man, I'm a bit hot right now. I've been moving a lot. Shoot, I don't know. I'm off right now. A little off right now. I guess I should turn off my other alarms because I did not do that. Okay, that's done. Let's see. I'm having a time with this foil. But I'm gonna get there. I don't think it's actual foil. This feels more like plastic than anything else. I've struggled with some twist top bottles before, but I've never struggled with, yeah, this is more plastic than anything. Today we are doing a Pinot Grigio from Italy. It's made with organic grapes. It's called In Vino from Total Wine and More. And let's see. It's 12%, so you get a nice little buzz. That's what you're going for, but my goodness, I've never seen something so strong before in my life. This is crazy. I've never struggled to, yeah, they did not use foil. This is definitely plastic of sort. And then they had the nerve to have sticky on it. Well, that part just made me a little frustrated. But this is what the bottle looks like. Really pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this open. And get this poured because I definitely need it. Oh, well, that's a bad thing. The cork broke while opening it. Fun stuff. Definitely not good, but you know what? We will always get it open, but that's odd. When stuff like this happens, that means that the cork was a bit dry. It's just all kinds of stuff going wrong right now. So now I've got to pull the cork out. This is funny, but this is what live looks like. Oh man. There it is. Now I've got to go back in and get it open. All right. little piece of cork right there. I definitely do not want to drink that. But let's go ahead and get this pour. Oh, listen to that. It's a pretty color. Let's see. It smells pretty good. I hope it's good. Hi, Angel. Thank you. Yeah, I love them. They look good. They look good. That logo pops. Thanks for joining. I hope you had a good day today. Um, so yeah, today is just, I don't know. It feels weird, a little off, but you know, it's, I'm going to drink this day away. Tina Turner died today. I thought it was a joke because my daughter sent me a TikTok and I went to go look at it, and when I opened it up, you know how it like defaults and it shows you like the first one that's in your For You page, and it said "Rest in peace, Tina Turner," and I was like, yeah, right. So I looked, and sure enough, she passed away. I'm like, dang, 83 years. I mean, she lived a good life. Well, she lived a long life. I'm not gonna say all of it was good because, yeah, I did some things to her, but you know, she came out on the better side of the deal. But definitely, you know, we lost a legend today, and I'm glad that they gave her flowers while she was still alive, because a lot of people don't get that. Yeah, I don't know why I'm fidgeting with the rest of this cork. It's clearly bothering me. But again, if you are just hopping on, let me know you're here. Hope you had a good day. Because Angel didn't tell me what kind of day she had. So I hope it was a good one. I'm yes, I don't know. What I've been trying to do lately to kind of allude to, you know, my topic, because sometimes I know the title doesn't give enough context, I guess you can say. I've been posting things that relate on my Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen the two videos that I posted. The one was from a divorce lawyer, and this whole thing came up, just many different variables contributed to how I got this one. But the first one was the lawyer that I posted, and he's a divorce lawyer, of course, and basically just saying that the leading cause that he's been seeing with divorces lately is because the husbands aren't being as involved with the kids as they could be, and it was causing, you know, problems in the household. And I get it, but girl, cheers, because man, I don't cook on Wednesdays. But no, it was one of those where it was just like, I get it, but I feel like a lot of things can be talked about, and some of it too is one person assuming, you know, certain things, and again, the conversation needs to take place. But he was saying that was the leading cause, that, you know, the moms are doing it all. They're not only just working and, you know, taking care of the kids, doing the cooking, the cleaning, the planning of the household, and paying bills. So it was just becoming a bit daunting. And then there's one podcast I love to watch, which is Tonight's Conversation. And it's a panel of mixed, you know, guys and girls. And the one guy, I thought it was an amazing video. Like, it really had me like, man, especially for, you know, to be black men, I'm all for, you know, I, I'm not against anybody that is in a racial relationship. But I am all for my black men. I'm rooting for him. I'm all for it. But the guy was basically saying that he wants to be a stay-at-home dad, and not in the sense where he doesn't work at all and his wife is just out there working, he's staying at home with the kids, but in a sense where he's like, I already did what I needed to do to make the money that I need to make. So now I want to let the rest of my money make money for me, and I still have as much time with my kids as I can. Hey, Naya. Welcome. I hope you have a drink, but you probably don't need one. You've been happy lately. There's my girl. Hi, daughter. But I, hey, how you doing, girl? Welcome. I know. See, I know with y'all gonna all have some good insight with this topic. Just summarizing. Where I've already talking about parenting, things like that. Good. I'm happy to hear that. And that's the way we all need to be. It's amazing. Life is too. Life is meant to be amazing. It's not meant to be all stressed out, but sometimes. But that's why God gave us wine. And Jesus turned water into wine. So I don't want to hear nobody come for me when they say that's not it, because yeah. But just basically, I once I start thinking about things, and I start getting a little, I want to say not obsessed, but I like to dig deeper, and I go down this rabbit hole of just research and looking on watching videos, and I like to hear every perspective on everything that I'm, so I don't just look for one side and be like, oh yeah, I agree with that, or oh, I'm just for that. I can't understand both sides of situations, so it's not just one narrative that I'm getting it from. But since the beginning of time, women have been the ones, because they're the homemakers. That's just the way that it was. We couldn't work. So of course that's how it was in the beginning. The men would go to work, the women would stay home, take care of the house and the kids. So it started with that. But then we are now in a culture where, unless you are complete, financially stable to where it's just like the man is making enough money where he's got, a year or two saved up for all the bills with inflation. You need two incomes. I don't care what anybody says, and I don't think it should ever be a problem when someone says, yes, we split bills, or I have my wife pay these bills, my husband pays this. It should never be anybody downing that type of situation. Gabrielle Union did an interview recently, and people were criticizing the fact that she said they split all of their household bills down from the mortgage to the groceries 50-50. It's just they both put in the pot, and that's how they pay the bill. So people were coming for her talking about, oh, you guys got all this money and blah 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 blah. And it's just like, it's not about how much money a person has, and people need to oh man, if I ain't got it, and that's what it is. Sometimes one or the other ain't gonna have it, and it's like that's where the other person really does have to step in. It's never 50-50, but in a ideal world, people would like it to be that way. But people were really coming for her, and I was just like, how y'all coming for her and they got money? Like, maybe that's how they keep their money too, is they doing what they have to do that way. But it was just such a stupid thing that people really think that they can judge somebody on how they spend their money. And people got to stop counting people's pockets too. You don't know what their money situation is. Maybe one of them has money invested in other places to where they're waiting for money. We don't know. But stop counting people's pockets. I think that should be the theme for the rest of 2023. Stop counting people's pockets. Stop thinking that they have something, because you don't know what they got going on in their life or what they're trying to aspire to get to. So, but it's just one of those where I felt like it's not just a gray, or black and white type thing when it comes to parenting. And a lot of the time, people are so judgy on how people choose to parent. Kim Kardashian, she trended this week because she was saying, she talked about parenting a little bit in an interview that she did. And she was saying that sometimes it is rough. And she was like, I don't care how much money you have, how long you wait, you're never ready because you don't know what you're getting yourself into. And that was one of the themes that really pissed me off during COVID when I had a friend that didn't have kids, and she had the nerve to tell me, you knew what you were getting into when you had kids. No, I didn't. I didn't know I was going to be in a pandemic. I did not know we were going to be stuck in a house for a freaking year, with nowhere, that we can go. I had no clue that was going to happen. So I'm sorry. I had no clue. You don't know what's going to, happen with your kids when they're born, if they're going to have any type of medical issues, if they're going to, acquire medical issues, things like that. My daughter was born with a valve that was too small and a hole in her heart. So I knew what I was getting myself into, right? No, I didn't, because every checkup, they never sensed that. It wasn't until the day she was born that that's when it was found. And had to continuously, it was every month we were at the cardiologist, so you really don't know what you're getting yourself into when you become a parent. And it does get overwhelming, and people need to stop looking at people, oh, they have money, they have nannies. Yeah, but what happens when those nannies leave? Not everybody has nannies full time, and sometimes these people with money, they actually spend time with their kids too. And just like us, it gets overwhelming because kids can be exhausting. Yes, it's rewarding. I tell people all the time, but there are days where it's just a lot. And she said that sometimes she cries herself to sleep. I thought that was, I thought it was cute, because it's like, maybe it wasn't a literal cry, but I get it. I mean, there are days where I have to ask myself, damn, did I handle a situation the right way? Am I being a good parent? Are my kids, looking at me like I'm giving them my best and things like that? So, but when it comes to that, it's a lot that goes into it. And I'm gonna break down the statistics because, like I said, I'm a stat girl. I love it. And we're in a different time, but since women have started working, uh men being, more hands-on has gone up. I'm glad I'm not tiring. Oh yes, aren't you? You are just the picture of non-tiring. But yeah, they did say that moms do more managing and organizing. So in that aspect, it was unanimous across the board that they do, because not my words. Yeah, see, exactly. I have another friend, when she's like, she's so excited to see her kids. And then when she gets them, it's like, God, like, I know the feeling, it'd be days where it's just like, man, I missed you so much. And now you with me. And I'm like, God, can I take you back where you came from for a little bit longer? Because, uh, yeah, kids they can tap dance. Like my baby, he'd be so excited, and it'd be like, okay. And sometime that 17-minute drive from work to where I pick him up from is not enough time to decompress the day. And then he gets in the car, and it's just like, I just need a minute. It was one day I had to tell him, I was like, let's play the quiet game. And he was quiet for 30 seconds, and he goes, Mom. I'm like, oh. He's like, I lost. Yes. Yes, you did. You lost, and boy, boy, boy. You ain't gotta lie to her and tell her she the exception. She is not the exception. She have her moments, but it's a lot. And they were saying, that moms, they do, have a lot more of that side. And I think because it does come a little more natural. I was listening to this lady explain that she does not do any grocery shopping. And she said it's because she sucks at just going to get, exactly what they need. Like her husband is the better, food planner. Like he knows how to look at what they want to spend, for whatever period of time that they're going to go grocery shopping for. He knows exactly how to do it where the food makes sense. Whereas she just buys stuff, and then she looks up and she's going back and forth to the grocery store, and he's like, this is costing more money, more gas, more time, more everything. Then so they figured out who was better in that situation. So it's not always the woman, but it's more the woman than it is the man. But there are situations, I think you have to know your partner's strengths, and that's who takes over, certain parts of things. And people shouldn't be saying anything for it. Like, I have a friend, she does not cook at all. She doesn't know how to cook. She doesn't want to know how to cook, and she's okay with that. And I had to tell, I'm like, if her husband okay with it, why is anybody else saying anything to her? But it is what it is. He happy. I stopped grocery shopping during COVID, and now it gives me anxiety of not getting what's needed. The hubs is much better. See, that another one of those situations. I mean, she's the same. Well, she just said she sucked at it, and I thought that was a real honest statement. And I feel like COVID has taught us so much about ourselves and our families and how to take care of our families and things like that, to where I think we just were all living so different. Like, I feel like I can't go grocery shopping. I can go to the grocery store and get a lot of things that I know we need, like, water, Gatorade, things like that. Like what I call our daily essentials, milk, eggs, things like that. But when it comes to a day-to-day meal plan, I can't do that, because I can say, oh, I'm going to make this on this day. And then that day comes and nobody wants it, including myself. Or something will come up and it's like, oh, this person is doing this, and now our whole day has shifted and we're going somewhere else, and I didn't get to cook, and my anxiety will go up about that, because now I got meat just sitting in the refrigerator. So it's a lot of different variables. Exactly. Exact comparison is a thief of joy. And once I had to learn that the hard way in real life, because I would look at what worked for other people, not realizing they put in the work to see what worked for them. And it was causing me my own misery. So I totally agree with that statement. And once I learned to take step back sometime, listen, one, because a lot of learning and seeing what's going to work is listening, it made a big difference. But uh it's whew, it's definitely not one of those situations where parenthood is just easy. I feel like that adds, well, it does, it was one of the things that they were saying, is parenthood adds stress onto a relationship, because there is so much that goes into it. um and when they talked about sharing the load, and sometimes it gets a bit overwhelming, especially like this one mom, she was saying her husband was going on a fishing trip for 10 days. 10 days. To some people, it's like, oh, well, they've probably been gone before, blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, they may have been gone before. It may be something that she has grown accustomed to. However, 10 days doing it on your own with, without that help that you would normally have, it does get a bit overwhelming. Hell, sometimes one day can be a bit overwhelming. It's like, it was a great quote. It one day can sometimes be overwhelming depending on how that day goes. You might have gone to work and had a crappy day. Then your drive, from work to wherever you had to go to pick up your kid, might have just been felt long. And it's just compiling and compiling and compiling. And it's like that one day just totally, it's just like a shit show. And now you're just like, I need to decompress. I it becomes a lot. So she was saying that, in that aspect, she had to learn how to not be resentful towards him not being involved during those days. I had to learn myself, because I was listening to her talk, and I just kind of, laughed. I said, I remember feeling that way. And it's like, now I'm like, I'm just racking up, time out, for myself, when that kind of stuff happens. Like, okay, cool. So when I go out, I know I'm going to be able to leisurely go out. And one of these days, I'm going to really go and just get away. I think my biggest problem with that is, like, when I say I want to get away, I do miss my kids. And then once I get around them again, I was like, oh, what the hell? But I do, I want to go and do stuff, but I don't want to miss stuff either. So like right now, he's in soccer. I don't want to miss that. Even though I say I'm going to miss and go do this, I don't want to miss it, even though he drives me crazy sometimes. But it's just so much where I look at it and it's like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, because I got this coming up. And one day I'm just gonna say forget it and miss it all and go have my own situation. But listening to different people talk and understanding, that no one is above it. I mean, hell, even Michelle Obama she's been very vocal about it, and she went viral for saying that she didn't like her husband for 10 years, and people just ran with that. That was it. That was the whole thing. She explained why she didn't. She said she had issues because she felt like he was doing more of what he needed to do, and he wasn't helping with the kids. And she said she even had a point where she was like, well, how many diapers have you changed? How many times have you had to do this with the kids? And you do start to feel, I don't care what anybody says, if they say they haven't, that's why you start getting nitpicky. And it's not that you are really nitpicking, it's just the stress of, having, especially if you're a new parent, this is your first time doing it, you start to feel that a little bit. But once you get into the flow of things, it does, get a little easier, especially when they get older. It's like, okay, cool. You can sit them down and go take care of stuff and do things. But it is rough where, you're just like, God dang, like it's a lot. But it was saying that uh, fathers who work full time. Oh, okay. All right. We'll talk later. But no, it does get overwhelming, and you do start, thinking like that. And then it's like you really have to pull yourself out of it. I mean, the one thing that I can say when it comes to my relationship that, and it does take practice. Love is not just in that moment when things are good. You have to show it even when it's kind of rough too. And the more I started practicing that and really understanding, like, that is a true thing. You can't just show it when it's like, oh, things are all great. Yay, I love you, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, yeah, but 2 days ago when you was throwing pots and pans at my head, did you love me then? So it's one of those where it's just like, okay, yeah, you might not have changed this diaper for the last 3 days, and I've been over here changing diapers, you know, for this long, and you ain't changed one yet. I'm not about to sit here and let that fester in me, because what is it doing at the end of the day? One, and here, that was my thing. One, did I ask? Did I ask for help? And yes, it's one thing to say, oh, well, you should know. I'm just using that as a metaphor, the pots and pans. I don't throw pots and pans. But, you know, that's what I'm saying. And I think that's where a lot of people don't understand, it does, if you let it fester, it will consume you and overwhelm you, and you do feel undersisted. And that's where I used to be. Now I would feel like you shouldn't have to ask, but sometimes you have to open up your mouth, because people, if you look like you got it, people think you have it, and sometimes you may not want to have it. I think that's the bigger things, the bigger thing that people don't understand. Like, even people that have it together sometimes don't want to have it together. Like, I genuinely have days where I'm like, I don't want to do shit. I don't even want to feed myself. I don't want to get up. I just want to lay here. I just want to be to myself and watch some shit that is probably toxic. I wouldn't say toxic, but ratchet, because ratchet TV does make me feel a certain way. Like, I don't know what it is, but I love it. And sometimes I just want to lay here and just like ask for help. That's what, and I used to feel that way, but then it was one of those where it's like, no, because everybody needs to open their mouth sometime. And I don't think it's anything wrong with it. I did, because I used to feel like it made me weak. But then it was one of those where it was just like, well, a person doesn't know what I need if I don't ask. So that's when I had to go ahead and shuck that dumb feeling that I was having to the side and say, okay, pride is not going to get me what I want. So I let it go. And then I started asking for the things that I need, because, how I'm going to get the help if I don't ask. But it, oh my gosh, you hit the nail on the head. She said that, her husband explained to her that he's used to her having it together with the kids, and unless I tell him to take something over, he feels like he might mess up my flow. That is such a true statement. And that's what I'm saying with, with men that genuinely care, they know what you're good at and they know what you're not good at. They know your strengths, and the men that care. Let me go there, because there are some men who just they don't. They don't. And it's one of those where it's like you do have to, open your mouth, because they're like, okay, she got it. I don't want to fuck nothing up. I mean, ooh, excuse my language. I don't want to mess anything up. I don't want to, get in the middle of things. But they do know when they need to say, okay, let me do something. And I've had to, man, I had to learn the same thing, because like I said, there are days where I'm just like, I can't, I don't want to, or I just need a little break because it is a lot. I watched a video where the lady was, she was so angry because she said, you don't do anything. And that was one of the things my therapist tells me is stop blaming and saying you don't. You have to put things in a way where it's like, this is what I'm feeling and this is why I'm feeling it. And sometimes it is a bit of a rational, feeling that you may be feeling. But she was saying, you don't do this. She said, I have to think about, okay, the kids have to get to school at this time. And then once they're at school, I've got to go do this. And then once, they're out of school, I've got to go pick them up. And then they've got this going on. And then I got to think about dinner. And it's like, all you're doing is just thinking. You're not living. And it is a sucky situation. I told a friend the other day, I said, sometimes it's hard for me. There are some days where I have a hard time really enjoying being a mom, because I'm not able to just live in the moment, because I feel like I'm constantly doing something. I'm constantly thinking about, oh man, well, this is on this day. I got to make sure I get this done. Oh man, I got to wash clothes because may need his uniform for this, or this is going on. And it's like, to someone else that is on the outside looking in, they're just like, oh well, that's easy, just get it done. And it's like, okay, well, I've still got to do this, and this is going to take time from this time to this time. And then sometimes you're like, well, I can't just do that. And even with your kids in sports, you don't know these people. Anything can happen from the time that you get there to the time you leave. You don't want to just leave your kid. So it's like, no, that's not a free hour where you could just go run errands and do stuff. So I feel like people just have certain things all wrong and they don't understand. So it just becomes a bit overwhelming. And sometimes I don't feel like I'm enjoying it as much as I could, because I'm constantly on go. And that sucks, but I get over it. I drink my wine and I get over it. But it's a big balance, that it takes work. Man, there are days where I'm on. It's like, oh yes, I made dinner, I cleaned the house, I got homework done, I worked the whole day, and I'm feeling. And then there are days where I'm just like, damn, I didn't put this laundry up, I ain't washed these dishes, I'm laying on the couch, and I know I got stuff to do, and my eyes are closed, and now I'm asleep, and then I'm waking up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning to get myself ready to get into bed. It is, I guess I'm balanced in that area, because it is what it is. But it's such a vicious cycle, this whole parenting thing. And good Lord. I just know that I am surrounded by a great group of women. I'm surrounded by a great group of women. I do have a great support system at home. So it's it's like, even when I'm in my irrational moments, it's like, okay, I got it out, and it's just like, okay, was it that bad? Or am I just over here being, yeah, a little silly again? But no, to allude, I was in a situation where I did not have the help. And it does make me appreciate, where I am. Like, it was so bad to the point where it was just like, all you have to do is pick them up from school. I drop them off when I leave. You pick them up. And there were days where I would get calls from the office saying, "Oh, your kids are still here." And it's like, what do you mean they're still there? They should have been picked up a while ago. And yeah, they're the last kids there. So that was a bit frustrating for me sometimes. Or, they'd be home all day and I still got to come home and, clean up behind them and make dinner and help the kids with homework and do projects and things like that. And it was just like, this is dumb. This is so dumb. Like, what in all the hell am I doing? Am I accepting, and why am I doing it and accepting it? So yeah, yeah. It's crazy, but but yeah, one of the things that it was saying is that, striking a work family balance is hard, most parents say, uh, because they're trying to balance. Was with a I was in a terrible situation, and Lord help me. But the Lord lifted me. No, let me stop before somebody try and say something crazy to me. No, that's over, and I'm in a better place now. And my shirt is popping. I just happened to look down and saw it again. But yeah, balancing jobs and family obligations can be a challenge. It says amongst all working parents with children under 18, more than half say it's difficult for them to balance the responsibilities of their job with the responsibilities of their family. 14% saying it's very difficult, and 42% saying it's somewhat difficult. Working moms, 60%, are somewhat more likely than fathers, the 52%, for them to balance work, family, and particularly the case for mothers who work full time. I see it all the time because, we working moms, we have it hard. I mean, jobs already judge you when you say you have kids. Like they want, and if you're a woman, you're already being judged and you don't have kids, and they're looking at your age. And, I mean, yeah, it's against the law, but that doesn't mean they're not doing it. They're discriminating you from day damn one because they're just like, oh, well, eventually she's going to have a kid. But they don't look at men the same way. Men will still progress in their career. Jobs don't look at them the same way that they look at women. And it sucks, but it is what it is. It's the stereotype of it. Uh, and then there are some that say being a working parent doesn't interfere with their career. I feel like that is more so the case with, I want to say men, but it's probably some of the case because there are some moms that sacrifice time with their. I was the same way when I first started in my industry that I'm in now. There were times where I missed out on so much, and there are times where I feel guilt now. Like mom guilt is a real thing. And I still feel guilty sometimes where it's like, dang, I missed this or I missed that because I chose to stay at work or not, get time off, because it's like, oh, well, if I take this time off, then what happens if they get sick and then I don't have that time and now I'm going to lose money for it. And it's just this vicious cycle that you go through. And it does. It just completely sucks. And it's like, yeah, you're thinking about the what ifs, and people say, oh, don't live in that, but you do. But about 4 in 10 working moms say this. So it's something to it. Oh man. And another one that it said, was moms always feel rushed. I'm not gonna lie. I don't care if I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning when my alarm goes off. And I get up and go in the bathroom, start getting ready. Once I wake up my son, I feel like I'm running like a chicken with my head cut off. It don't matter. I'm gonna still feel rushed. And if I get out the door at 7:40 like I want to, I'm like, bam, I won the morning. But once that 7:40 hit and we still doing something else, I'm like, yep, there it is. And it's not about, oh, he's going to be late, because he's not late to school. It's just one of those where it's just like, I know I have to leave at a certain time so I can beat that traffic around the school, because the later it is, the worse the traffic gets. People don't know how to drive around the school, and it's where he goes, it's a middle school and then his school, then you got the traffic from, the other people trying to cut around. It's just insane. Pedestrians act like they don't know cars are coming. They just walk. They don't care. You could be mid turn onto the the next street. They gonna walk and then look at you like you crazy. Cars act like they don't understand. Oh my god, that is one of my biggest pet peeves in the morning is people that don't understand four-way stop signs. My gosh, that is the quickest way to throw off my whole morning and have me ready. Like I'll be looking at people. I'm like, and I need to stop because one day somebody gonna really be pissed off. But these people don't understand how to stop at four-way stops, and it just gets so frustrating to me. And it's like literally two in a one block of me having to drive. So yeah, it gets. But no, you do always feel rushed, and it's even worse. Like I know I've been laughed at because if we have somewhere to be, say for instance, we got to go somewhere too. I check the traffic for a few days, especially like okay, so say for instance somebody invites us somewhere a month in advance. That first weekend that I see it, I'm checking the traffic so I can see okay what's the traffic like on that Saturday. And every weekend for a couple of weekends, I'm checking the traffic so I can say okay what's going to take about this long to get there. And then I say okay what's going to take me this long to do my hair because I don't want to show up with wet hair and these curls take a little bit to dry. So then it's like, okay, well, I got to get up at this time so I can do my hair so it'll be dry. Then I got to, figure out what I'm wearing. Sometimes what I have planned in my head does not always translate when I put it on the way that I thought it was going to look in my head. So now I'm going through another wardrobe change and it's like, dang, okay, here we go. Then I got to get the baby ready. Then it's one of those where it's like, okay, what else do we have to do? Do I have to, buy a gift? Are we supposed to be bringing something? It's so many variables that go into it that it's just like now I feel like I'm rushed all over again because I don't like to be late. I don't like to be late anywhere unless I know these people are the late type of people and I don't want to be the first person to get there. And I don't sometimes I don't want to help. So I try to get there a little later because I don't want to help. And I know that sounds selfish, but if I just don't want to. Yeah. But yeah, it said 4 in 10 mothers, 39% say they spend too little time with their kids. I don't feel that way anymore. Now, my first two, I do feel like I spent, very, not as much as I could have. Like, we literally only had, you know, Friday nights, Saturday, and Sunday. And then a lot of the time we were on go because we were in tournaments. So it really wasn't like that quality time that we should have been spending the way that we should have, or it was like now I'm fussing because it's like, oh, we got to get to bed. You got to go hurry up and get in the shower. You got to clean your room. You got to do this. You got to do that. So it was always a schedule. So I really wasn't, I guess you could say, spending the time that I should have the way that I could have. And uh, it just sucks. It sucks. But yeah. And it says among those who are married or cohabitating, 44% of mothers who work full time, uh, they spend too little time with their partners compared to the 27% of moms who are employed part-time and 34% of moms who are not employed. At least half in each group say they spend the right amount of time with their partners, while few say they spend too much time. So when you look at me, and I think that sometimes it brings out a bratty side of me, and I know I'm working on it, but I do sometimes get this whole like, dang, I spent, and then I start, I get a little picky that I ain't spent no time, but but it does get hard. You're just like, I wanna be with you. If I didn't like my partner, I think it wouldn't bother me. I wouldn't care. It'd be like whatever. But I do. But you know, gotta learn to think of different ways to handle it. What about you guys? Do you guys think that you feel rushed with your kids? Are you spending enough time with them? Too much time with your partner, not enough time? I know it is a big thing. Mm. What about leisure time? It said about 59% of parents, both male, I'll be letting her breathe. That's funny. 59%, both, moms and dads say they don't have enough time for their hobbies and interests or hanging out with their friends. I can kind of see that, especially right now, because we want our kids to be so active that it does take a lot more time away from, you being able to do stuff like that. Or you have these goals that you set that you really don't have time for, certain things. So that's an interesting aspect. I agree with that one. Sometimes you need to miss your partner to help you want to spend time with them. That's true. That's true. I had somebody ask me once, they're like, how do you miss somebody that you're in the same house with? And I said, easy. You work, they work. You both have things that, you have going on. And sometimes the most that you're seeing each other sometimes is in those few minutes that you're catching up with your day, when you're going to bed. And, it's just like we haven't really spent any quality time. We haven't had any time with each other that is nourishing our relationship. So that's how. So, yeah, it can get overwhelming sometime, which is why I think a lot of people, you know, Naya, I'm not even listening to you right now. No, but it does get overwhelming sometimes, and that's why I think sometimes I just like to be away from everybody. I don't want to be near the dogs. I don't want to be near my baby. I don't want to be around nobody. Sometimes I just want to snuggle in my bed and watch, like I said, my ratchet TV, or like depending on the mood I'm in. Sometime I want to rewatch the show that I want to rewatch, and Insecure is one of my go-to rewatches. I just finished the whole dang second season of Harlem, and that kind of made me sad because it was only 8 episodes, and I was like, oh, it's over, and I don't even remember watching 8 episodes, and it was just so good, and I feel like I missed something, and then it's like they left me on a cliffhanger. So we know season 3 is coming, but yeah, I like having those moments where it's just like I'm all to myself. I don't have nobody asking me no questions. I don't have to do nothing. So yeah, I enjoy those moments. So no, I agree. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Oh man. So now we get to the bigger question. Who does more? Mm. So statistically, I want to see how many of you guys know the role. And you know what really made me hit the go button on this right now? We were at a birthday party, and the dad was talking about having another baby, and I made the statement that moms do, I think I said 70% more of the work when it comes to the kids than dads do. And he quickly rebutted with, but I do this and that, and I'm just like, So I was corrected when I looked up the statistics. And I just want to see what you guys think. Who do you guys think does more? And if you know the percentage of what it is, I'm going to sip my wine and see what pops up. You tell them you left, Naya. Do you leave them bread and water to eat? There'd be some days I'd be like, order a pizza. But now I love, my moments to myself. They're a beautiful thing. Sometimes I don't even need to leave to have that time. I just want to be in my room, in my bed, or on the couch to myself. Sometimes a man that provides for the stay-at-home wife does way more than he gets credit. No, I agree. I agree. And again, like I said, I feel like men don't get enough credit for what they do. And I don't even know if the video is still up, but I like I said, I posted a video last night, and I felt like I posted it for one, the context, and two, to show how we women don't appreciate men sometimes the way that we should. And the guy was saying, he, like I said, he said some, I don't know if some of you guys have probably seen it, but he was saying that he wants to be a stay-at-home dad. And the women immediately just started laughing, and my favorite person on the panel, Keita, she really shut that shit down. uh Yeah, we do more. And I'm going to tell you why in a minute. But she shut it down real quick. And it's one of those where it's just like, sometimes we women are really selfish. And here's how: we want men to be sensitive to us and be understanding when it comes to our emotions and cater to us. And then we don't give them that same safe space to be vulnerable. This guy was very open. He said he wanted to be a stay-at-home dad. Women started laughing. They didn't even give him a chance to explain what he had. He said, I've already worked. I've built my business. I have enough money to where I can. I would come back to that. But he was very vocal about what he wanted. He said he paid his dues. He's already been out in the streets and took care of everything that he needed to take care of. And he wants to, let his money to continue to make money for him and stay home with his kids and actually have that quality time with them. I thought it was dope. Super dope. And I feel like once you get, like, how much money is too much money, for one? And two, when does it get to that point? Like, even Jay-Z was saying it wasn't until he had Blue that he really took a step back and said, I want to be more involved with this human. He said he didn't know how to swim, but he learned how to swim because of her. He was like, she wants to know how to swim. I got to learn how to swim so I can make sure that my little baby don't drown. So he learned how to swim for her. And it's like, I don't think we as women sometimes see this, some of the sacrifices that men do make as well. And it sucks because they don't have a safe space a lot of the time to be, open, vulnerable, and, you know, things like that. And that was one of the reasons I posted that video yesterday when it came to parenting in this topic, because it was just like, especially when it comes to black men truly don't get the credit that they deserve. Black dads, they deserve way more, because black dads are way more hands-on than any other race. So statistically, it is proven black dads are more hands-on. And if anybody want to come for me for that, I will show you where it says it. So yes, black dads are a lot more hands-on statistically than any other race. So we're just gonna go there. However, it does say that moms do 59% more of the role in managing, the kids' activities, the day-to-day care, the schedules, and the activities. So in that aspect, yes, we do more. We have more of that face, time and scheduling. It just is what it is. However, I feel like sometimes it is, the other percentage is because the dad is, better. So I think it's not about, oh, moms just do it more. I just think it's about learning your relationship and seeing who's better at balancing that part of it. Like with me, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not, when it comes to things that I need, I will know I need it and won't do it. I won't. Because in my head, because of my previous situation, it's just like, oh, well, I wasn't in a situation where I was able to just take care of myself, you know, a lot of the time because I had to support a whole situation. So now it's one of those where my partner does know, okay, I know she's not going to do it. I'm going to do it. And it does bring me a certain amount of joy because it's like, dang, I wouldn't have done it for myself, but it got done. So I just, like I said, I think it's a balance thing. But, you know, statistics are saying that women do more, but that's only because of that situation. Uh, and it said 55% of married or cohabitating parents say the mother does more than the father when it comes to the kids being sick. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say that because we have a balance. Who's more effective? You know what? When it comes to a lot of the, you know, things when it comes like I'm dang. When in our household, my honey is a lot more effective with certain things than I am. Like when it comes to discipline, and it's like these kids, the damn dogs don't even respect me. It's a shame, but it is what it is. I'm not even gonna go there. Like, you know, be days I like I've had moments at work where I'm just like, these dogs be like, okay, whatever. Like I tell them be quiet, they don't be quiet. He just come in and look. And they sitting here like they know what's up. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I see how it was. One day I thought I did something. And then I looked up and saw the dogs looking over me. I was like, oh, he's standing there. I thought I did something. It wasn't even me. It's just stupid. But it was saying, you know, so here's where it says men also, you know, men do more than the women disciplining. And I agree with that. And you know, ladies, I want to hear if it's the same in your house. Because in my house, it's just like, even, you know, my crazy daughter, she ain't gonna admit it, you know. I could say certain things, but then again, you know, I've been told that you know, I'm not very consistent with my discipline, and I say I'm gonna do something, and I don't. I mean, it was one time like she really pissed me off, and I stuck to my guns on what I said I was gonna do, and I know it hurt her. It hurt my feelings to have to do it, but yeah, when it comes to discipline, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a softie. I'm a softie. I'll be mad, but it'd be hard for me to stick to it. So, but it says fathers do more, you know, when it comes to that aspect. And I will admit, in my household, it's the same thing. So it says 61% say that men do more activities with their children. He is more the fun parent. And I had to learn to be fun because I did have to be so serious a lot of the time that I just am like within the last couple of years am learning how to just let go and breathe some time. And sometimes it's still a challenge for me because it's like I do get a little uptight, but men do in that aspect, the men have the bigger role. So and like I said, I did not want this to be a whole we bashing men. I'm never about that. I do not like that. I'm not gonna do that, you know. And when relationships, I tell people all the time, when relationships don't work, it just wasn't meant to be. So it's not about, oh, you gotta diss the person. Now, unless that person was just complete trash, I always want to bust you out. Yeah, unless you dated a guy that was just complete trash, you know, I'm not gonna just say that, you know, it is what it is. But yeah. Now, when it comes to activities, moms have 54% of that one. And I will admit, but it depends because he's gone on a field trip, you know, too. So he's done field trips. I don't know that I've done a field trip. But I will admit, I've been team mom on a lot of these kids' teams. And sometimes I don't want to be team mom. I just want to be a mom. I had one season where, no. Yeah, a lot of the time I end up getting pulled into doing something on a lot of teams. Like when my daughter was playing basketball, I just came in and sat down. Me and the baby walked in, and my baby's been in the gym since he was born. So we just been in there, and I sat down in the thing for the parent meeting, and the coach looks at me and goes, "Yeah, and our team mom." And he's like, "Stand up," and I'm like looking around, and he's looking at me. He's like, "You, Miss Vasquez." I'm like, when did I agree to this? And I got sucked into being team mom. And y'all know what came with that? a whole lot of driving kids around because you teen mom, and now you picking kids up on game days and dropping them off on practice and game days. And it's still rewarding because I have a few of the girls that still talk to me, whether it's on text, or Instagram, and they still will send me messages. Like my favorite adopted daughter, she texts me on Mother's Day, and she's like, "I'm sorry I haven't." I'm like, "No, don't be sorry. You getting up there, but it is meaningful to know that you actually left an impression in somebody that you didn't give birth to life. So I do like that. And yeah, it's sweet. Now, here's where I think we're all, it says perception of division of labor by gender. Uh, a lot of people don't, they perceive that they're doing more than they actually are. And it was saying that half of the mothers in two-parent households say they do more than their partners. And 32% of fathers say that they do more, and they don't and that women don't see the things that they do. Now I will admit there are little things where I'm just like, oh damn, like I'll notice, after the fact. Like me, I do not, and I don't care who come at me for this, I don't like cleaning toilets. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. That was one of my things when we first started. I don't like cleaning toilets. And the fact that he still puts up with me after that, I will say, it's like it doesn't go unnoticed. Or, even little things where it's like, oh, I didn't even realize that this was messed up and he's fixed it. So it's just certain things where we may think we're doing more things, but it's like when it comes to bigger tasks, they do take care of it. So, like I said, it's one of those where you got to look at the bright spot. Like me, sometimes I'm like, well, dang, he'll text me and say, "Oh, I'm gonna pick up dinner on the way home. You cool with this?" It'd be like, "Cool. I got an extra, however many minutes it would have taken me either to go pick up food or cook. Where now I have that. I can't replace the toilet. No, that's a very good point. I can't replace the toilet. I don't want to replace the toilet. I talk about fixing things in the house, and I want to do these things, but I know he don't trust me to do it. But guess what? I'm gonna talk about doing it. And then there are times where it's like I want to do something, and he'll he'll let me, try and execute my vision, and then it's like, nah. Exactly. So I try to look for, well, it's not really a try, but I do notice, certain things. And sometimes it's one of those where it's just like, I had somebody ask me, why do you say thank you? And I said, because who doesn't want to hear thank you? Who doesn't want to hear, that you notice it? Because we all want to be acknowledged to an extent. It's like, I'm not saying every other second it's like, oh, you're fawning, but people want to know that they're appreciated. And I feel like that is something you should hear. Even with my daughter, sometimes where she'll be like, oh, mom, do this. I mean, no, she's not my parent, or, she's not a part of it. But, even when she does, it's like, thank you for reminding me, because Lord help me, it's days where my head wouldn't be attached to my brain, you know, because it's just mush because I got so much going on. And I tell people all the time, if you want me to be somewhere, you better make sure you tell me, and make sure you put it in a text so I can remember to write it down and put it on my calendar. And yes, I put it on my shared calendar so that way, my honey knows too. So that way it's like, okay, I'm getting, I'm going out. I'm not going to be here. So baby is your responsibility. But, it's one of those where it's just like, I want to make sure, because if I don't put it on my calendar, it ain't happening. I'm sorry. I'm just letting you know now, like, it's not going to happen. But I think it's more, or less just balancing yourself. And I thought it was a good topic. I thought it was fun. I mean, it will forever be a debate amongst people on who does more parent wise. And I just think that we're evolving more because it's one of those where you have to see who is not really who is, but you've got to understand that we're all doing different, things in the relationship. So appreciate it. Like, I don't take out trash. I don't take out trash at all, which I don't think I should. Um, every now and then, I mean, I know he doesn't like me bringing in, the heavy stuff when it comes to the groceries, but every now and then I'll be like, I just want to get it in and I'll do it. Or if he's not here, I'm just gonna bring it in. Um, it's just certain things where it's like, okay, but definitely when it comes to discipline, I suck at it a lot of it. But every now and then I'll be firm. I'll be like, you ain't watching no TV tonight, and I'm serious, and it don't happen. And then I feel a little bad after because I don't like to see my kids hurt, and I don't like punishing them or making them feel bad, but I feel like you have to let them know. Yes, I have the 17th on my calendar. You already know. And that I agree. It's not a competition, it's a partnership, and you got to learn how to work together. And like I said, one of my biggest things when it comes to that is opening my mouth and asking for, hey, I need, I mean, because we all need days where it's just like, I don't want to be bothered. I just want to go away. It's nothing wrong with it. I'm not gonna lie, because of, like I said, terrible situation in the past. Because of that, I did have issues with it. It would be hard for me to, because I thought it was me, like, oh, you don't like me, oh, what is it, blah, 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 blah. And it was just, that was a horrible thing I was projecting on myself as well. And it's just like, well, shit, I kind of like having my time to myself too. Like, okay, let me sip my wine and sit back and just enjoy this. But it's nothing to, take offense to in my head. But no, I definitely agree. It's not a competition. Once you really accept that, I think people will stop looking at the division in their relationship. That's the part where it was just like, okay, like I knew from the beginning when when I first got pregnant, he didn't like poop diapers. So if if I was there, I knew if it was poop, okay, I'm gonna change it. And there sometimes you have to just know your partner as well to know what they will and what I do. Like I said, I brought up toilets from the beginning. I don't like toilets, but it is what it is. It was one of those things where it's like you have to know what your partner's strengths and weaknesses are. That's how you build and you grow, and you learn to accept each other for your differences, and it makes it easier to have a better flow. Then there are times where it's just like I'm stressed and I'm tired, and it's like, well, it's my fault. Did I say anything? Did I say I don't want to do this? Did I say, oh, I have this to do? Can you, take care of this? And there are times where it's just like, hey, can you do this? I got a headache. I don't feel good. Whatever it is, and you have to communicate. That is the biggest thing. And sometimes you may communicate, and it's like you realize that ain't even really what I felt. Maybe I didn't explain it right, things like that. So just I feel like we really do have to come together, if you're gonna be in a relationship. And like Michelle Obama said, if you want to have a long-term relationship, you got to understand you are not old to feel good all the time. And in relationships, you don't always feel good. And I thought that was, I like listening to people who you know, are in the same place that I'm at that have lasted, a certain amount of time. Like, I think 5 years is great, 10 years is great, but once you hit that, 15-year mark, 20-year mark, it's like you've been through some stuff. You can give a person some real, feedback on how, and not saying that what they did is going to work from you, but it's easy to decipher what's not bullshit and what's, genuine advice, and go from there on how to make, like, parenting is not a one size fits all thing. Relationships aren't one size fits all. And to make them both work at the same time, God dog it, you have hit the jackpot. So there are days where I'm just like, enjoy the ride, enjoy the ride. And I do, I had to learn too. That's what I needed my girlfriends for. So we can have our moments of just getting it all out. Cause, You need that, like, oh, my kid done did this. This little fart just, lost their damn mind, X, Y, and Z, because sometimes you constantly venting to, your partner as well becomes overwhelming because now they're taking on your stress load. And I think that's where a lot of women don't understand as well, that they not only have to have their load, but they have our load as well. And it's like, even if they're not showing it, it's on them. So, yeah, I'm gonna go from there. But if you have not seen the video and you want to see that video, of that, we got to protect our black men too. We can't be letting people come for them. But if you haven't seen the video and you want to see the video that I was talking about, you know, just let me know and I will send it to you, because I thought it was pretty cool. And it was just like, I totally respect that. It's like, why should men have to work themselves into the ground if they've already achieved what they feel like they wanted to achieve, and now they want to spend time with their kids? Because once these kids are older, trust me, they only want to spend time with you on certain times. They ain't trying to be up under you all the time, and you can't be mad at that, because the whole point of raising your kids is to be, the people, but you want them to still want to spend time with you. And I was told that that is one of the biggest blessings of parenting your kids, is when your kids actually want to come back and do things with you. When they don't want to spend time with you, they don't want to be around you, somewhere you done messed up. So I feel like that is, one of the best things that I can say, is that I am thankful that at least my baby girl do. She be wanting to spend time with her parents. But does anybody else have anything to add? I thought you guys put in some good input today. That was pretty good. And now I'm not going to drink the whole bottle of wine, Naya. It's actually really good, though. See y'all the 8th. I like when my baby is at home. She gonna get on my nerves like within the first day, but I like when she home. my little my little broke bestie, or not so broke anymore because she got her job. But I am gonna go ahead and sign off. I will see you all next week. And I hope you guys all have a great 2 more days of the week. We got, most of us have a long weekend. So I'm really looking forward to that, because that extra day off is really going to be great. And I'm not going to think about the amount of emails I'm going to walk into come Tuesday, because guess what? It is what it is. Oh, well. But have a great weekend. Well, have a great rest of the week. Great weekend. Enjoy your long weekends if you have one. Oh, and for anybody that wanted to go to Wine Fest, like I said, I'm going June 3rd. I think that's next Saturday. Let me look at my calendar. Yeah, June 3rd. That's next Saturday. They still have tickets for that day. If you want to go, I will send you the link to get your ticket. It'll be fun. It's not, you're not going drinking wine. It's literally wine tasting, and learning some stuff about the different wines. And there are some brands, some black owned, that I've been really looking forward to seeing. And it's just going to be fun and be cute and be out and just do something different and just have some fun. So if you want to go, let me know. I'll send you the link. If not, I'll see you another time, but have a great week and weekend. Oh yeah, and don't forget to hit the like button.